Hi guys, welcome to the week 7 video lesson for group piano 2. You may notice that I am wearing the same outfit as in the last 4 videos, but it's now dark outside. So given that, expect that the things I say will make less sense and the things I play will have more mistakes. So let's go ahead and jump right in. First off with the vocal warm-ups. So exact same thing that we did last time, we're now just doing it in the next 3 keys. So we'll be starting in E flat and going up to F. So just a reminder, the right hand is just a regular 5-finger pattern. The left hand plays the 1, 5, 7, 1. And then to modulate, you just play the 5, 7 of the next key. So if I was on E flat, I'm now going to play to modulate the 5, 7 chord of E major. And then that's going to take me. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and play through this in those 3 keys so that you can check. Starting in E flat, ready, go. 1, 5, 1, modulation. 1, 5, 1, modulation. 1, 5, 1. And that's it. That's all you have to do. So again, remember that to find that modulation chord, like if we're going from E to F, so I play my 1 chord, the bottom note is going to stay the same, the E is going to stay the same, and then I'm just going to move my other 2 fingers up 1 step, so my thumb is going to come to C, and my 2 is going to come to B flat, and now I'm on the C6-5 chord, that is the 5-7 of F. Okay, so again, if you just kind of keep those chords in mind, it's really not too bad. So then the next thing that we're going to do is our next scale in our group 3 major scales, and that is going to be E flat major. So I'm going to go ahead and play again right hand first, then left hand for the scales, and then the arpeggios. So same thing with this one that we kind of talked about last time. It has you starting on finger 3 for the right hand in the scale. You can start on 2. It's just as easy. Again, they're kind of showing you the most consistent version, again, imagining that we're coming from a previous octave, but you don't have to do it that way. You can just start on 2, and that's just as easy. So I'll go ahead and call that out, and the finger numbers, and then for that, it's the same thing in the arpeggio. It shows you starting on finger 4. I think it's way easier to start on finger 2. So here's the scale. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2 or 3, it doesn't really matter. And left hand, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2 or 3, it doesn't matter. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Arpeggio, 2 or 4 doesn't matter. 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1, 2 or 4 doesn't matter. Left hand, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1, 4, 2. 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2. And that is all we have for that. And then we'll jump over to our unit 19, which is our unit for this week. And for this one, we're going to be learning about the 2 chord. So typically the 2 chord is often played in the first inversion. So in most of these, we're going to find that the 2 chord is going to be a 2-6. Same thing when it's in minor and it's diminished. So a lot of times we're going to have the minor 2-6 in major keys and the diminished 2-6 in minor keys. So if you kind of need to go over exactly how that works, you can go ahead and just look through how this plays out right here. on the first page, 241, a little introduction. There's also a chord progression that uses the 2 chord, and they have it on top, and then they also have it on the bottom in that more kind of keyboard style where we play just the single bass note. And it has you going through each of the keys, and then you can practice it in each of these other key patterns to go through a variety of different major and harmonic minor keys, and that would definitely be a great chord progression to work on, because later on we are going to work on chord progressions that are a little bit more involved, that have a few more of the secondary chords in it. So practicing these that just use one of the secondary chords along with the primary chords is a really, really great way to prepare yourself for those. So then we have the solo repertoire here, Waltz by Diabelli, and I'll go ahead and demonstrate this one. Again, this would be one that you could do for the exam. This would be on the 10-week exam. This would be a great one to go through and do to block the left hand. We can see that it's mostly just our primary chords in the key of C. A little bit of interesting pivoting there. So that would be a great practice strategy to do with this one. One thing that is a little bit different with the melody here, the melody looks really, really, really simple, but it actually, if you notice in measure 9, you have your finger 2 on D, then over in measure 13 you have your 2 on E, and then over in measure 17 you have 4 on F, so you've now moved down a step there. So while that may seem incredibly simple, the melody moving up and down a step in your hand position, that actually does throw people off sometimes. So you may want to just kind of circle some of those finger numbers, pencil in a couple of notes, especially on the line break there. Just in teaching this piece, I found that some people have a little bit of a struggle with that. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate this one, no repeats, and you can work on this one for the exam if you choose. And there is that, and then we will move on. So the next item that is in this unit is another great ensemble repertoire piece. So again, we don't really have the opportunity to do that in class in person, but if you wanted to maybe try to work through each of these parts individually, that would be a great reading exercise. Again, this one is kind of similar to some of our harmonization with 2-hand accompaniment. And then if you wanted to, again, try to put together a virtual ensemble with just yourself or with some friends, could be a really fun thing to do. And a lot of these ensemble repertoire, I think that they sound really good. I think a lot of them are really creative and fun, so you could definitely take that opportunity. So then we'll go through and I'll play through the reading exercises. So you will choose one of these 4 for your assignment for this week, and no transposition for the reading exercises. So as usual, I won't play the transposition since it's not required, but they do list some transposition options for each of these pieces, but I will let you practice that on your own if you want to. It's a great idea to work on the transpositions, but I'll just play through each of them and you'll just play it without the transposition for the assignment. So here is number 1. Number 3, Etude. number 4 study. Great. And then we have next are some harmonization options. So I believe on the assignment it says that you can choose one of these 4 harmonizations to do with the transposition. I think if you wanted to do one of the harmonizations with 2 hand accompaniment, that would also be acceptable. For the assignment, you would have to do it with a transposition, so maybe not, but you could, if you wanted to do one of these harmonizations with 2 hand accompaniments on the next 2 pages, that would be perfectly fine. There are here, and again, these would be ones that you would want to try to do you would have to transpose them to any key of your choosing. But that would be available if you want to push yourself a little bit. So we'll go ahead and play these through, and I'll play these with the transposition. So starting with number 1 on page 248 in the original key of B flat major first. Up to C major. Now we have number 2 in the original key of D major first. Nope, that's not right. Hang on, let me figure out what is 2-6 here. Okay, okay. I need to start this an octave down. Whoops, see, I told you, as it gets later in the evening, this is just gonna fall apart and be more and more of a disaster, and that's okay, that's life. So, here we go from the beginning. A quick note about these, and one thing that is just a little bit different before we do the transposition for this one, it really does matter when you do the inversions for these. Again, I know that maybe that's not depending on your perspective on chords, some people really think about like a 1 is different than a 1-6, or whatever. And some people are just like, it's all the same notes. With these, it really is going to sound a lot better if you do them in the inversion that is indicated. So, for example, they're saying that you should do the 5-7 in root position. So not doing the 5-6-5 that we do in the chord progressions, and it really does sound better. So that's just something, it might make it a little bit more challenging, but I would recommend that you do use the inversions that they suggest. There are times when it doesn't make a difference to the sound, really, and I will invert things in a way that they don't suggest. But for these, in this group, I think it does sound a lot better if you do the ones that they're recommending. So here we go in the transposed key of E flat. Here we go.